know what type of soul you are. Yeah, there are different types of souls, believe it or not. As it stands on this three-dimensional realm, there are basically four different types of souls that are moving about in the day-to-day world that you consider reality. In terms of what those four souls are, you have the young soul, you have the intermediate soul, you have the old soul, and you have the elder soul. Now, to give you an idea of what these souls would look like and what they would appear in their day-to-day operation, let us first begin with the young soul. A young soul is one that hasn't had a lot of incarnations and is basically fresh into this three-dimensional reality. What you'll find is these young souls tend to be very reckless. They tend to be dense in terms of understanding spiritual things. Young souls tend to be locked into the physical body, the physical protoplasm. And here it is, you'll see that young souls are those souls that are chasing behind physical desires, physical pleasures, because they're new to this body and they're not accustomed to its stimulation and stimuli. You'll see young souls out there always following their passions in terms of if they want to make love, they'll go out and make love. If they want to drink and party, they'll do that. These are some of the emanations of a young soul. It is because they're getting used to their body. Now here it is, another thing with young souls. Young souls tend to be brash in their decision-making process. Here it is, for instance, a young soul who was born, say for instance, under an Aries sign, for instance, would be the type of soul that would tend to make decisions that would bring a short life. For instance, they would get caught up in wrong company, they would get caught up in wrong environments, they would get caught up in just simply wrong energies and wrong frequencies. Those are some of the hallmarks of a young soul. An intermediate soul, these are souls that are somewhat more evolved. An intermediate soul, these are souls that tend to focus on things like education and the intellect. These are souls that are very religious, not spiritual, extremely religious. Now, when you observe these particular intermediate souls, these souls will manifest in terms of they would tend to pursue professions like medicine, lawyer, doctor, accountant, things of that nature. They will place academia at a prime. Now, in terms of the choice of religion and spirituality, these are individuals who would tend to shun spirituality. They would think that that is all poppycock. They would think that it is all nonsense. But these individuals are very religious in their bearing. For instance, these would be the individuals who would be in church every Sunday, participating in church events. These are individuals who would participate in organizations like Toastmasters and Rotary and things of that nature, because they are at that point in their spiritual development, their soul development, where they need to be able to express their building capacity. These souls are builders. These are the souls that build communities. These are the souls that tend to build organizations. These are the souls that tend to build countries and communities and so on and so forth. The third category of soul is that of the excuse me. The third category of soul is that of the old soul. These are souls that have had a number of incarnations, and these are souls that are very settled in their being. These are souls that tend not to have a lot of interaction with younger souls outside of it being a part of their soul's mission, their soul's purpose. Old souls, because of their wealth of experience and having been around the track so many times, they tend to focus in on their life's purpose. They tend to focus in on their life's mission. And in the midst of focusing on that, what you find is these old souls tend to find themselves as being teachers, spiritual teachers. They tend to find themselves as in the capacity of gurus. They tend to find themselves as persons who are trying to place the divine essence within this third dimensional realm. These souls tend to be those souls that are on the brink of ascending to the next level of elevation, which is elder souls. Old souls in particular, you can somewhat tell them right off the bat. They have a more settled energy. They tend to be more grounded in their bearing. They tend to have a sense of clarity on self-identity. Old souls tend to not be flitty, flighty. They tend to be very grounded in their bearing. In terms of their energy, you can tell when you're around an old soul, even when they are still in the young stage of their physical development on this earth plane. Moving into the elder souls, these are souls that have elevated beyond having to actually come and deal on this earth plane, but these are souls that felt the need or the urge to come back, to give something back greater to humanity. To give you a working example of old souls that you may be aware of, you have souls like Mother Teresa. You have souls like Martin Luther King Jr. You have souls like Malcolm X, believe it or not. You have souls like Gandhi. You may not agree with all of the politics and the policies surrounding these souls, but because of the amount of energy and power that these souls generated through the previous incarnations, they were able to come to a place to decide whether they wanted to give back to humanity on a greater scale or to just simply move on to higher dimensions and realms. The reality is, whether you are a young soul, an intermediate soul, an old soul, or an elder soul, life is all about process. Life is all about learning. This three-dimensional earth realm is a learning realm. This is a learning planet. Some may think it's a prison planet. Some may even think that this is hell. And in reality, if you compare it to other dimensions and realms, it is somewhat a hell domain. It is somewhat a prison planet, because once a soul is entrapped in a body here, it has to go through the machinations of life and liberty, and having to deal with the whole construct of living as an immortal soul trapped in a physical body. So if you are on the pathway to growing spiritually, do not judge yourself for where you are as a soul. If you are just waking up, if you are just coming to a full knowledge of who you are, I welcome you to this new path. I welcome you to a whole new world that is going to just simply change your whole perspective on life, manifestation, and the universe as you know it to be. So just sit back wherever you are and just simply continue to grow. If this video was helpful to you, just simply like and subscribe and join the Inner Creed family. We thank you for joining us and have a blessed day. One love.